Hey kids, welcome back to another great Dare lesson. What day is it? Dare Day, you know it. I've missed you an awful lot, and I know that this is a weird, odd time that we're living in, but I just want to encourage you that we're going to get through this, and please listen to your parents, listen to their great advice. Please continue to do the right and safe things like staying home, washing your hands, and all those are really important things because I care about you a lot, and I really want to be able to catch up with you in the fall in middle school and say hello. So let's get started with our Dare lesson. Today we're going to be talking about something really important, but I'm going to open up with a video. Let's check in with Sofia and see what's going on with her.
Welcome to my world. It's Sofia again, and things have been crazy since we were together last. The other day I was in class and my teacher, Mrs. Lopez, asked me to help her clean up some desks. I wanted to be responsible and help her out. No big deal. Until two of my friends, Lily and Michael, started teasing me about being the teacher's pet. I tried to explain why I was helping her, but they didn't want to listen. I was getting embarrassed. I tried to talk to them and said, "Why are you treating me like this?" They both just laughed. So I got mad and yelled, "Shut up!" Well, that did shut them up, but Lily glared at me and Michael crossed his arms and walked away. I stood up for myself and they got even madder. I didn't know what to do. After Lily left, I told Mrs. Lopez, but she said I probably wasn't clear with my communication. I thought talking was communication. Huh? I'm confused.
Don't worry, Sophie. This class is really smart, and they're going to help you through this. So today we're going to be talking about something really important that I think Sophia needs to focus on a little bit more. We're going to be talking about something called communication. But before we open up and talk about that, I want to ask you a couple of things. I want to ask you, what was Sophia thinking and feeling in this moment? How did she express this to her friends? Well, I kind of think that Sophia was feeling that these people are supposed to be my friends. Why are they treating me this way? This isn't how friends treat one another. She might be feeling a little angry, betrayed, or even saddened about this. So let's go back and talk about what communication is. Communication is when people express their thoughts or feelings with each other. And you guys have been communicating your whole lives, but maybe you haven't heard exactly how this is defined. And it can come in a number of different ways, but there's three different styles of communication that I want to talk to you about today. The first is called confident. The second is called unsure. And the third one is called demanding, all right? So as you look at these, you probably have an idea right away which one you need to be closest to, right? All right, so let's talk about these though. Before we talk about that one, let's define these. The first one is being unsure. So when we're unsure, we're being uncertain or unwilling to stand up for ourselves. Maybe we're quiet and muffled a little bit and turn away from conversation. And maybe you have your hair in front of you. If you're a girl listening to this video, there's probably been a time in your life where you've purposely put your hair in front of your face in class thinking, maybe if I hide, the teacher won't call me for that answer. And you felt a little bit unsure in a moment in your life. Let's talk about being demanding. Demanding is acting in a way that's hostile, attacking, or harming others without regard for that person's feelings. This is the person that I have described as, and maybe you have a younger brother or sister that looks a lot like this. Maybe you've seen this person in front of, I don't know, the ice cream door at the grocery store, and you're thinking, what are you talking about, Officer Julie? Well, that demanding person comes in the form of a toddler who is throwing a complete fit in front of the ice cream door at the grocery store because they want their ice cream and they want it now. Yikes. How's that work out for that toddler? How's that work out for your brother or sister? Probably not so good. They are demanding, okay? The third one we want to talk about is being confident, and I bet you guessed that this was the one that we need to be closest to. Being confident means acting in a way that communicates your opinion, here's the important part, while still respecting others, okay? So we got to give them that respect if we want them to be open to listening to what it is that we want and what it is that we have to say. So there's unsure, demanding, and confident. And again, We want to be closest to confident. Again, that's acting in a way that communicates your opinion while still respecting others. Okay? So, what I want to talk to you guys a little bit about is how could she improve her communication? I'm sorry, let me back up. In this video, what did she want her friends to do? I want you to reflect on that for just a second. What did she want her friends to do? Go away, shut up, right? But when you scream, shut up, feelings get hurt, damage is done, friendships can be questioned after that, all right? Now, I'll be the first person to say that her two friends had no business giving her trouble about being the teacher's pet when she's just trying to do something really, really nice for people, for the teacher, for Mrs. Lopez, especially in today's world where we're cleaning off desks and making sure things are nice and sanitized. That is a really, really, really mature, responsible, and thoughtful thing to do for a teacher. But she wanted her friends to maybe act a little bit more. You'll notice when I wrote the word friendly here, that I wrote the word friend in bold letters and then added the adverb part, right? Friendly. She wanted them to be helpful. Maybe they could have joined in and helped her with that small task, and they could have done it as a team. And maybe a little bit more calm, all right? Because somebody crossed their arms and walked away, and their other friend glared at her and then left. And this can be really frustrating, again, if these are people that we call friends. So, how could she improve her communication? Let's talk about that for a second. She could have done several things, but I've listed a couple. I have speaking in a calm voice would have been really beneficial there instead of screaming, shut up, right? We talked earlier about what it feels like to have a tea kettle moment when you can feel it building up inside, right? That water is boiling, it's inside the tea kettle, and it's getting hotter and hotter and hotter and hotter and hotter, and it gets up to the top and it boils, and then the tea kettle bursts and it whistles, and sometimes we feel like that. We get hotter and madder and madder and madder, and then she screams, shut up! You can't shut up back in. Damage is done, like I said. So she could have improved by speaking in a calm voice. That would have changed the situation in a different direction. She could have asked Mrs. Lopez for help or another trusted adult. Mrs. Lopez was in the room, and if she's doing something nice for Mrs. Lopez, well, of course Mrs. Lopez is going to want to do something nice to help her out, especially if she's being bullied by a couple of people who are not being nice. All right, so what I want you guys to do is for every lesson that we have together, I want you to come with paper and pencil. If you have your Dare books by now, I don't know if you're listening to this video and you've already had a chance to go do book bag pickup and all that, but if you do have your book bags and your Dare books, I want you to please to turn to page 37. And on page 37, we're going to talk about your Dare definitions. We're going to fill those in. I've listed them up on the board for you. The first one that you're going to have today is communication, and that says when people express their thoughts or feelings with each other. So I want to take a second there and make sure you have all those glossary words down in your book. When you've completed that, I want you to go to page 33, which is listed right here, for some journaling, some reflection time about our lesson that we've had. So the first part says to communicate confidently, I will. And I've listed some things here, just some ideas, some thoughts that I had. Maybe you have your own, or you could share some of these with me. The first one I said is speak in a clear, calm voice. Use good posture. Get my point across in a respectful way. So if you have your own ideas, please enjoy expressing yourself through your journaling in your own ways and your own ideas. The second part of your journaling says, the confident communication skills that I will practice this week are, and I listed some, I actually rewrote the question in a different way. What areas can you improve upon? Okay, so I want you to take a second, really reflect, look at yourself. How can you improve your communication? Do you have tea kettle moments? Do you think that you could put the lid on those a little bit faster and work on that this week? Maybe that's something that you're growing through this time during this pandemic, and you've realized that you have too many tea kettle moments with your brother or sister, with your mom or your dad, and you're thinking, I need to figure out how to put the lid on those tea kettle moments. Maybe you need to work on that. But how can you work on improving your communication, getting your point across? Maybe you're the person who's unsure and just really doesn't know how to ask for something, how to express yourself. Well, I need help with my math, but you know, my mom seems really busy right now and she's working from home, and my dad says, I don't understand this stuff. That's not the math that I did back in my day, and I'm not relearning math. Okay. Well, let's rephrase that. Let's communicate that in a different way and maybe introduce it as a challenge to Dad. Hey, Dad, let's see who can do this math problem faster. Introduce it in a different way. Communicate that in a different way with your parents and see what happens. So we are going to close out with a video. Don't forget, my friend Darren will be with us for every lesson, and he has protected himself, so I hope that you guys are protecting yourselves, washing your hands, doing those things. But we are going to close out with a video, so I will ask you guys one thing that we ask at the end of all of our lessons. All right, finish the sentence. Be safe and be I hope you said responsible. We're going to play this video and close it out with that. I will see you guys next week. Thanks for stopping in.
Lily, Michael, and I are still mad at each other, and I don't know what to do. I think I have to be the one to talk with them. But will they listen? I guess we'll all need to wait until the next time we're together to find out. Be safe.